This changed everything. So I'm going to be rereading The Color of Magic, the first Discworld novel. Hi guys, Vanessa here. For today, I'll be talking about Eric by Sir Terry Pratchett. So Eric is the 9th Discworld novel by Sir Terry Pratchett that was published 1990. Actually, I have two published editions. The blue one, it's in here, and then this one. The blue one was published by Corgi, and this one was by Victor, I can't remember, Gollancz Limited. Let me just double check. Yeah, Victor Gollancz Limited. Anyway, the illustrations were all done by Josh Kirby. And as you will notice, it was initially titled as Faust, and then someone crossed it out and then put Eric instead. So, from a get-go, you will know that this was a parody of that novel Faust, where this guy Faust sold his soul to the devil. And also in this edition, you will, at the front of it, it says here, 13 Midden. I think that is Midden. Midden Lane, Sodopolis, Stowe Plains, the Discworld on top of Great Atuin, the universe, space, and R, more space. And I thoroughly enjoyed this book. And I was laughing all throughout, to be honest. I can't remember the last time I laughed out loud reading a book. I mean, I giggled, but not laugh out loud. And this book brought it out from me, so I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. As a summary, Eric is about Eric Thursley, a 13-year-old, 14-year-old demonologist who summoned a demon to grant him 3 wishes: to be the ruler of the world, to meet the most beautiful woman that have ever lived, and to live forever. Typical. But then, this is the kicker, instead of a demon, it was Rincewind who came out. And Rincewind appeared in various Discworld novels. He is a failed student of wizardry, studying from the Wizard University in the Discworld, which is located in Ankh-Morpork. It is called the Unseen University. And he was actually described as this person who has a wizard spirit, but as a body of a sprint runner. Because that is who Rincewind was. He run away from things. That is the operative word, from things. Because Rincewind is always definitely running away from something. And now, he got mistaken into this wish-granting demon. What was that? Demon-granting wish. Wish-granting demon. And although at first, Eric believed that Rincewind wasn't a demon, then not every time, but when Rincewind would snap his fingers, it would grant Eric's wish, but obviously with consequences or life lesson. And oh, by the way, just a warning, this is not a spoiler-free review, so spoiler warning. The first wish, to be the ruler of the world. But to grant that wish, when Rincewind snapped his finger, they got transported in the rainforest of Klatch, the Tezuman Empire. This is a parody of the Aztec Empire. And just a brief to those of you who don't know, Discworld is a fictional planet, fictional world that is in the shape of a disc, obviously. And this world is located balanced at the back of 4 giant elephants that are in turn on top of the great star turtle called the Great Atuin. So they did claim and crown Eric as the ruler of the world. And they were expecting him because there's a prophecy about him. But then, as it turns out, actually blamed the ruler of the world in all their suffering, so they want him killed. Which bewildered and annoyed Eric to the point wherein he was complaining to Rincewind, and he was telling him that I'm going to complain to I'm going to tell my mother about you. And they will be really upset because apparently his parents were influential people. Rincewind, as a reply, weakly and a bit sarcastically, he replied, let me read it to you. Rincewind was like, oh good. Said Rincewind weakly, why don't you tell the high priest that if he cuts your heart out, she'll be right down to the school tomorrow to complain. Very sarcastically. Then as a conclusion to this first wish, Rincewind pointed out that you never should have wanted to be the ruler of the world, he said. I mean, what do you expect? You can't expect people to be happy about seeing you. No one ever is when the landlord Let me read that again. No one ever is when the landlord turns up. But they're going to kill me. It's just their way of saying that, metaphorically, they're fed up with waiting for you to repaint the place and see the drains. So basically, they're not happy with their living situations. So when the ruler of the world turns up, they're going to kill him. That was funny. And then after this wish, Rincewind snapped his fingers, and they found themselves inside a wooden horse, which was obviously a parody of the Trojan horse. And they were now in Chort, trying to escape the Chortian soldiers, who mistake them as the Ephebian forces, since they came inside this wooden horse that were apparently left outside the Chortian gates. And I'm sure you guys have already guessed which Pratchett were parodying in this story, in the second wish, or who we are going to meet. The face that launched 1,000 ships. Because remember the second wish? The second wish is about meeting the most beautiful woman that have ever lived, which is Helen of Troy. Well, in this case, it's Eleanor of Chort. Now, obviously, since the siege has been going on for a long time, 10 years, I would gather, because the Trojan War lasted 10 years, Eleanor already has kids, and even Eric said, she looks like my mom. And basically, for the second wish, Rincewind concluded that, let me go on that end. Where was that? Eleanor of Troy. Look at this illustration though. Oh, this is beautiful. Josh Kirby is amazing. Where was that? Where was that? So basically, Rincewind concluded that the thing is, said Rincewind quickly, it's what they call dramatic necessity. No one's going to be interested in a war fought over by a quite pleasant lady, moderately attractive in a good light, are they? Eric was nearly in tears, but it said her face launched 1,000 ships. That's what you call metaphor, said Rincewind. Lying, the surgeon explained kindly. Anyway, you shouldn't believe everything you read in the classics, Rincewind added. They never check their facts. They're just out to sell legends. So, after this second wish, Rincewind snapped his finger again, and they were transported into nothingness. Because remember the third wish. The third wish was to live forever. So now they were transported way back before everything ever existed. And then they met the creator. That whole part of the story reminds me of that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy part where they try to rebuild Earth because it was destroyed. And the creator was basically this architect / designer that oversees everything, the creation of everything. It was like that. But then Eric was so confused because he wished to live forever. And why were they there? Until Rincewind pointed out that this is exactly what you wish for. And then Rincewind explained, where was that? Third wish. Then Rincewind explained that, I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? He said, you wanted to live forever. I didn't say anything about traveling in time, said Eric. I was very clear about it, so there'd be no tricks. There isn't a trick. The wish is trying to be helpful. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you think about it. Forever means the entire span of space and time. Forever. See? You mean you have to sort of start at square one? Precisely. More than the humor and the parody that was in this story, I like the character development of Eric. Because he started as this spoiled kid who summoned a demon that he thought he could control and grant him wishes. And he did get his wishes. But it's not exactly what he wished for. And even in the story, one demon spelled it out. He said, is it this one? No, it was the other one. Wait, sorry. So one demon says that, after all, the whole point of the wish business was to see to it that what the client got was exactly what he asked for and exactly what he didn't really want. That's what wish is about. That was really interesting. So yeah, I'm giving this book a 5 out of 5. And to be honest, I've read a lot of Discworld novels. I've got my favorites, The Witches, the City Guards. But this is my second Rincewind novel. The first one was the very first book of the Discworld novel, which is The Color of Magic. And I felt, I've read it years ago, and I felt that it doesn't, Rincewind in that novel didn't exactly intrigue me much or entice me much. So I wasn't exactly running around trying to find the next Rincewind novel. But this changed everything. So I'm going to be rereading The Color of Magic, the first Discworld novel, and to gauge my reaction again after all these years, to gauge my reaction again on how I'm going to find it. But yeah, Eric is highly recommended. And I'm going to be reading the Color of Magic again, so watch out for my video about that. But for the meantime, and for this season, because it's Christmas, I will be reading the Christmas themed novel in the Discworld series called Hogwatch. So watch out for that video as well. Again, thank you for watching, and see you again on the next video.